The cold metal deck vibrated beneath J. Park's boots as he scanned the alien landscape of Kepler 452b. Dust storms swirled across rocky terrain, creating a mesmerizing dance of orange and gray against the twin suns hanging low in the sky. His UN peacekeeping uniform, a deep navy blue with silver trim, marked him as a veteran of countless interstellar missions. Something felt different today. The communication devices on his wrist had been unusually quiet, and the sensor arrays showed strange electromagnetic disturbances across the horizon. Jay's instincts, honed through years of military service, told him something was about to happen. In the small alien settlement below, creatures with iridescent skin moved between crystalline structures. They were the Lyrians, a peaceful race, known for their advanced scientific knowledge, but remarkable vulnerability in combat. Their society valued intellect over physical strength, making them perfect targets for aggressive mercenary groups that roamed the outer planetary regions. Suddenly, a high-pitched whine cut through the atmosphere. Jay's enhanced optical implants zoomed in, revealing a fleet of dark metallic ships descending from the upper atmosphere. Mercenary raiders, the worst kind of interstellar predators who lived by stealing, destroying, and selling whatever they could capture. The first plasma bolts struck the settlement's protective barriers. Brilliant blue energy flickered and then collapsed under the intense bombardment. Lyrian civilians scattered, their delicate bodies moving with surprising speed despite their fragile appearance. Jay's training kicked in. He grabbed his pulse rifle, checking its energy reserves and activating the advanced targeting systems. But something caught his eye, a young Lyrian female who had fallen during the chaos. Unlike others who were running, she seemed frozen in terror, directly in the path of incoming energy arrows. Time seemed to slow down. The mercenary weapons charged, creating a deadly arc of destructive energy. Those arrows could disintegrate a living being in milliseconds. The young Lyrian female, her skin a soft lavender color, looked no older than 20 in human years. Her large, almond-shaped eyes reflected pure fear. Without thinking, Jay leaped. His armored body moved faster than thought. Each step was calculated, each movement precise. The energy arrows, bright and deadly, approached at incredible speed. Jay positioned himself directly in front of the female, using his advanced combat armor as a shield. The first arrow struck his shoulder, the second hit his chest, the third and fourth landed across his back. Each impact felt like being struck by molten metal, but Jay didn't move. His primary objective was protecting the vulnerable alien. The mercenaries seemed surprised. A human soldier deliberately taking multiple direct hits was unprecedented. Most would have retreated or sought cover. But Jay stood firm, his body absorbing the devastating energy. The Lyrian female looked up, her eyes wide with a mixture of shock and gratitude. She had been certain of her imminent death, but this human had transformed that certainty into an unexpected chance of survival. As the last energy arrow dissipated, Jay collapsed. His armor was smoking, multiple systems critically damaged. Blood seeped through the protective layers, creating dark crimson patterns against the metallic gray. The mercenary ships began to retreat, their attack disrupted by this unexpected resistance. The settlement's emergency response teams were already moving, their medical units preparing to handle the aftermath of the sudden attack. The young Lyrian female knelt beside Jay, her delicate hand hovering over his wounded body. She didn't understand why a complete stranger would risk everything to save her. In that moment, something profound shifted in the cosmic understanding between two different species. Jay's last conscious thought was simple: mission accomplished. Then darkness consumed him. The medical bay hummed with soft electronic sounds. Bright white lights illuminated the sterile space where Jay Park lay, his body covered in advanced healing patches and monitoring devices. Each beep from the medical scanner told a story of remarkable human resilience. Nara, the Lyrian female he had saved, sat quietly in the corner. Her lavender skin seemed to glow softly under the artificial lighting. She watched every movement of the medical team, her large eyes never leaving Jay's critically wounded body. Dr. Kim, the lead physician, shook his head in disbelief. The medical scans showed injuries that would have killed most humans instantly. Multiple plasma burns covered nearly 60% of Jay's body. His internal organs had sustained massive damage. By all medical calculations, he should have died the moment those energy arrows struck him. "Impossible," Dr. Kim muttered, adjusting the holographic medical display. "His cellular regeneration is unlike anything I've ever seen." Nara moved closer, her movements graceful and cautious. She understood something the human doctors did not. In her culture, survival after such an encounter meant more than just physical healing. It represented a deep spiritual connection. The medical nanobots worked tirelessly, repairing damaged tissue and reconnecting broken neural pathways. Jay's body was a battlefield of microscopic repair, with thousands of tiny machines fighting to keep him alive. Outside the medical bay, conversations buzzed about the unexpected hero. UN peacekeeping records would show this as an unprecedented act of interspecies protection. Jay had not just saved a life, he had potentially prevented a significant diplomatic incident. Nara remembered every detail of the attack. The way Jay had positioned himself, the absolute certainty in his movement, the complete disregard for his own safety. Such actions were unknown in her peaceful civilization. Her people valued intellectual survival, not physical sacrifice. Hours passed. The medical team worked in shifts, monitoring Jay's condition. His vital signs remained unstable, but showed remarkable improvement. Human physiology, enhanced by years of space adaptation and military training, proved surprisingly resilient. Night fell across the medical station. Nara remained seated. She began to tell Jay stories, tales of her people, their history, their dreams. Though unconscious, something in Jay's brain seemed to respond. His heart rate would change slightly, his fingers would twitch. Dr. Kim noticed something unusual. The nanobots were not just repairing damage, they seemed to be learning, adapting. They were incorporating Jay's unique cellular structure into their repair protocols, creating something entirely new. "He's becoming more than human," Dr. Kim whispered to his assistant. "These nanobots are transforming his entire biological structure." Nara heard this. In her culture, such a transformation would be considered a sacred process. The line between medical intervention and spiritual rebirth was often blurred. Days passed. Jay remained in a deep healing state. The medical team continued to be amazed by his body's response. What would have killed a normal human was becoming a pathway to something extraordinary. Nara never left his side. She brought small artifacts from her culture, crystals that seemed to pulse with soft energy, traditional healing stones passed down through generations. She would place them near Jay, believing in their power to support his recovery. On the 7th day, something changed. Jay's fingers moved. Not a random muscle spasm, but a deliberate, controlled movement. His eyes, still closed, showed rapid eye movement beneath their lids. The medical team rushed in. Monitors displayed increasing brain activity. Nara stood back, her entire body tense with anticipation. Slowly, painfully, Jay Park opened his eyes. The first thing he saw was Nara, the alien female he had saved. Their eyes met, and in that moment something profound passed between them, a connection that transcended species, language, and understanding. His first words were simple but powerful. "Are you safe?" The recovery room was quiet, filled with soft blue light that seemed to pulse gently. Jay sat propped up on a medical bed, his body still marked with healing patches. Nara sat across from him, her lavender skin catching the light in fascinating ways. Communication between them started slowly. Nara used a small translation device that converted her complex language into simple English. Her words came out mechanical, but clear. "In my culture," she explained, "saving a life creates a bond deeper than blood. You are now more than a stranger. You are connected to my entire clan lineage." Jay listened carefully. His military training had taught him to understand cultural nuances, but this was something entirely different. The Lyrian concept of life debt was more than a social obligation, it was a spiritual connection. Dr. Kim brought additional medical reports. The nanobots in Jay's body had not just healed him, they had transformed his cellular structure. His healing capabilities now exceeded human standard by almost 300%. Each injury would now heal dramatically faster, each physical limitation pushed beyond previous boundaries. Nara explained more about her people. The Lyrians were not warriors. They were scientists, philosophers, researchers who valued intellectual growth over physical conflict. Their civilization had advanced technology, but minimal defensive capabilities. "We create," she said, her fingers tracing complex patterns in the air, "but we struggle to protect what we create." Jay understood this vulnerability. He had seen countless peaceful civilizations destroyed by aggressive mercenary groups across different star systems. His entire peacekeeping career was built around protecting those who could not protect themselves. The medical station became a place of cultural exchange. Human doctors were fascinated by Lyrian medical knowledge. Lyrian researchers were equally intrigued by human adaptability. Jay became an unexpected bridge between two completely different civilizations. His body continued to change. The nanobots worked like intelligent architects, reconstructing his physical capabilities. Muscle density increased, neural pathways became more efficient. His entire biological system was being rewritten at a microscopic level. Nara watched this transformation with a mixture of scientific curiosity and spiritual wonder. In her culture, such a profound physical change would be considered a sacred metamorphosis. Days passed. Jay's strength returned rapidly. He began physical training, discovering new capabilities with each movement, reflexes sharper, strength enhanced. Recovery almost instantaneous. The UN Peacekeeping Command received detailed reports. They were particularly interested in the nanobot technology that had transformed Jay. Such advancements could revolutionize human space exploration and military capabilities. Diplomatic channels opened between humans and Lyrians. Jay's unexpected act of heroism had created a unique diplomatic opportunity. Where previous interactions had been limited and formal, now there was genuine mutual interest. Nara continued to explain her culture's complex social structures. Life debts were not just personal, they impacted entire clan networks. By saving her, Jay had potentially prevented the extinction of a significant genetic lineage. "You are now part of my family," she explained, "not by blood, but by action. This cannot be undone." Jay found this concept both strange and profound. His military background had taught him about brotherhood and sacrifice, but this was different. This was a connection that transcended species, language, and traditional understanding. The medical station became a hub of cultural learning. Human researchers studied Lyrian technologies. Lyrian scientists examined human adaptability. And at the center of it all was Jay, a living testament to what could happen when two different species truly understood each other. As his physical recovery continued, something else was happening. A deeper transformation, not just biological but philosophical. Jay was learning to see the universe through a completely different lens. Nara watched him, her large eyes reflecting a mix of gratitude, curiosity, and something that might have been the beginning of a profound friendship. The universe, it seemed, was about to change. The Lyrian council chamber was unlike anything Jay had ever seen. Circular walls shimmered with holographic energy, changing colors with each movement. Elder representatives from different clan regions sat in a perfect geometric arrangement, their eyes fixed on the human who had saved one of their own. Nara stood beside Jay, her posture both protective and proud. She knew what was about to happen would change everything. Elder Kira, the most senior member of the council, stepped forward. Her voice was soft but carried incredible weight. "Jay Park," she began, "you have done more than save a life. You have restored hope to an entire civilization." The chamber fell silent. Holographic displays began to show complex technological schematics. Jay recognized fragments of advanced molecular engineering, but most of the design was beyond his current understanding. "We offer you a reward," Elder Kira continued, "that no human has ever received before." A small crystalline container emerged from the center of the chamber. Inside, barely visible to the naked eye, were microscopic devices that seemed to pulse with an inner light. They looked like tiny silver threads, more advanced than any technological system Jay had ever encountered. "Bioadaptive nano-regenerative implants," Nara whispered. "They will change everything about your physical existence." The implants were more than just medical technology. They represented centuries of Lyrian research, a complex system that could rewrite human biological limitations. Each microscopic device could rebuild cellular structures, enhance neural pathways, and create unprecedented healing capabilities. Dr. Kim, who had accompanied Jay, could hardly contain his scientific excitement. These implants could revolutionize human medical science. They represented a leap in technological understanding that would take humans decades to comprehend. Elder Kira explained the implants' capabilities. They would not just heal injuries, they would transform Jay's entire physiological structure. Faster healing, enhanced strength, improved cognitive functions, the ability to adapt to extreme environmental conditions. "But there is a cost," she warned. "These implants will bond with your body permanently. You will never be entirely human. Again, you will become something different." Jay understood the weight of the decision. This was more than a medical procedure. This was a fundamental transformation of his entire biological identity. Nara placed her hand on his shoulder. In her culture, such a moment was considered a spiritual rebirth. The line between technology and sacred transformation was often blurred. The UN peacekeeping representatives watched silently. They understood the potential diplomatic and technological implications of this moment. If Jay accepted, it would create an unprecedented bridge between human and Lyrian civilizations. "Do you accept?" Elder Kira asked. Jay looked at Nara. He thought about the moment he had jumped in front of those energy arrows. He thought about protection, about sacrifice, about the fundamental human desire to save others. "I accept," he said simply. The implantation process was nothing like traditional medical procedures. The microscopic devices seemed to flow through his body like liquid silver, reorganizing his cellular structure with mathematical precision. It wasn't painful. It was transformative. Hours passed. Monitoring systems tracked the implant's progress. They didn't just repair, they rebuilt. Neural connections became more efficient, muscle tissue became denser, healing mechanisms were dramatically enhanced. When the process finished, Jay was no longer just human. He had become something entirely new, a hybrid being with capabilities that defied current scientific understanding. Nara smiled. Her life debt had been more than just a cultural obligation. It had been the beginning of something remarkable. The universe watched and waited. 6 months after the transformation, Jay Park stood on the bridge of the interstellar diplomatic vessel. His new body moved with a precision that defied human limitations. The Lyrian Human Joint Diplomatic Mission was about to change everything humanity knew about space exploration. The mercenary groups that had attacked the Lyrian settlement were now on high alert. They hadn't expected a single human to become their most significant threat. Intelligence reports suggested they were gathering their remaining forces, planning a massive retaliation. Nara worked beside Jay, her hands dancing across holographic communication systems. Their connection had grown beyond the initial life debt. They were now true partners, representatives of two civilizations learning to understand each other. Admiral Chen watched Jay with a mixture of fascination and concern. The UN Peacekeeping Command had never seen anything like this hybrid being. Jay's enhanced capabilities meant he could survive conditions that would kill normal humans instantly. Space radiation, extreme temperatures, high-gravity environments, nothing seemed to challenge him. The first joint operation began quietly. Lyrian intelligence had tracked the mercenary fleet to a remote star system. Their plan was simple, but precise. Disable their communication networks, destroy their primary command ships, protect vulnerable planetary settlements. Jay's new body was a living weapon. The nano-regenerative implants allowed him to withstand direct weapon hits that would obliterate normal soldiers. His reflexes were so advanced that he could predict enemy movements before they happened. During the first engagement, Jay single-handedly disabled 3 mercenary command ships. Energy weapons that would have destroyed entire human squadrons simply dissipated against his enhanced body. The mercenaries realized they were facing something entirely new. Nara provided tactical support, her advanced Lyrian technology complementing Jay's physical capabilities. They moved like a single organism, anticipating each other's actions with supernatural precision. The diplomatic implications were enormous. This wasn't just a military operation, it was a demonstration of what could happen when two species truly collaborated. The mercenary groups had always exploited the weaknesses of peaceful civilizations. Now they faced a united front that challenged everything they understood about warfare. News spread quickly across multiple star systems. Smaller planetary settlements that had lived in fear began to see hope. If humans and Lyrians could work together like this, perhaps other alliances were possible. Admiral Chen reviewed the mission reports. The data was extraordinary. Jay's body had become a living research project. Each engagement provided new insights into the potential of bioadaptive technologies. The line between biological organism and advanced technology had become beautifully blurred. Weeks turned into months. The joint mission expanded. More diplomatic channels opened. The mercenary groups found themselves increasingly isolated, their power base systematically dismantled by the human-Lyrian alliance. Jay was more than a soldier now. He was a symbol, a living proof that protection could transcend species, that understanding could be more powerful than conflict. Nara watched him during quiet moments. She saw how the transformation had changed him, not just physically but spiritually. He had become something that bridged two worlds, two understanding of existence. The final confrontation happened near the Orion Nebula. The remaining mercenary leadership made their last stand. They brought their most advanced weapons, believing they could break this new alliance. They were wrong. Jay and Nara led the operation. Their movement was poetry, a perfect synchronization of human determination and Lyrian technological sophistication. The mercenary fleet was dismantled in hours, not through pure destruction, but through strategic, precise interventions. As the last enemy ship fell, something changed in the cosmic balance. A new era of galactic cooperation had begun. The universe watched, and for the first time in generations it felt hope.